Hello, my name is Neil Gold. I'm the owner of Goldcrest Wallcovering here in upstate New York, in the Hudson Valley of New York, near the state capital of Albany. One day, about 25 years ago, I think maybe even 30 years ago, my wife and I were sitting on our back porch of a house we lived in near Albany, same area, and looking at the mountains. And, I said to my wife, I'm a traveling salesman. At some point in my career, I'm going to have to stop doing this. I won't be able to do it in my 50s and 60s, 70s, or 80s. But in order to get to the 80s, you have to go through the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So what can I do? Now, this was pre-internet. I came up with the idea that I'm going to sell wall covering to the whole world. Now, this was before the internet. Now, how am I going to do it? Well, I knew about telecommunication advances like microwave, and it suddenly occurred to me, if I had a means of getting through to you as a buyer, then what's the difference? I'd be able to tell my story and what I do to vast audiences of people I've never even met before. So, thought about it, and I finally came up with the idea of selling online. But not the kind of selling online that you see on Amazon. The kind of selling I'm doing is a direct consultation for the individual. In other words, I open my door at 10 in the morning, Eastern Time, and I close it at about 5 o'clock. But I also have an answering service for before that time and after that time. So, like if you're in Hawaii, you can call and leave a message, and I'll arrange my time that I get to you, and I'll call you back, and we'll discuss what your problems are. So this way, I would be your personal rep wherever you are and wherever I am. And we'll have created something entirely new. I later learned that what I represent, and right now I am 69 years old, is bricks and mortar of the business. In other words, I am old business, the way it used to be done. And what all of our IT, internet technology guys don't realize is that we got half of the people in this country who fall in with my group or age group of people, let's say from 50 on up, some of which are totally IT illiterate, who need a hand to hold for someone who can translate the new language to them and get the job done. So that's what I do. I found a niche for myself, in other words. And this is what I've been doing since, actually it was around the turn of the century, around 98, 99. We didn't really get going until about that time. Even though we got our domain name in the winter of 1995, it took a few years for us to even understand it. We didn't know what we were doing. And certainly when Google pulled their coup of sorting out all this information into some logical form in which you can Google it up or in other words, find what you want, all of us didn't know what we're doing, and we just took a shot at it and just jumped in and did it. So now it's about how many years later? Since '98, it's almost 14 years, going on 15 years later, and I'm having a ball. I should be retired now, but who can afford to be retired? I mean, why would anyone want to retire now? I mean, this is the most exciting time in our history. We're on the verge of new technologies, new ideas. All young people are being given a lesson in understanding the dynamics of the economy. They certainly aren't going to take anything for granted anymore, because they know how harsh it's been on them, which in the long run will be a good thing. It's not so good now, but in the long run, they will get an education from this. As someone of my age group, I can tell you that I grew up as a child of people who lived through the Depression, and that made them better people. And I couldn't stand hearing about the Depression one more time, but now at this age I do appreciate my parents. And just like that, they will appreciate what they're going through now and will be a stronger country for this. Thank you very much.